Jim, it's great to have you here today.
To welcome Buck O'Neil into the Hall of Fame family.
All right. Let's bring to the stage right now one of my favorite people in Kansas City, the president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Mr. Bob Kendrick. Bob, you can sit and stand, your choice, but we waited so long for Buck O'Neil to get in the Hall of Fame, and now he's in the Hall of Fame where he belongs. You were there in Cooperstown. You got to live out that dream. Tell us what that experience was like to be there and finally see Buck O'Neil inducted into the Hall of Fame.
It was absolutely surreal. I'm still basking in the glow of Buck's long overdue induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. And quite honestly, I went to Cooperstown and my spirit wasn't exactly Buck O'Neil-like because I was still feeling a little salty by what happened in 2006. But the closer I got to Cooperstown, I was consumed by the spirit of Buck O'Neil. And it really dawned on me, Stephen, that perhaps this happened exactly when it was supposed to happen. And it's creating some unique opportunities for Buck's museum.
And so now that Buck is in the Hall of Fame, the work's not over. The Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is such a big part of the community here in Kansas City. So tell us what's next. We continue to honor Buck's memory and all those players that are honored at the museum. Tell us what's next for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Well, number one, tomorrow you can come down and actually see the Hall of Fame plaque. The Hall of Fame plaque will be on display at the museum from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow. It goes out to Kauffman Stadium on Saturday for the salute to the Negro Leagues. Will be on display at the Royals Hall of Fame. And so it's a special weekend with the Los Angeles Dodgers in town, and the Royals will be wearing the 1945 Kansas City Monarch uniform. That is the year that Jackie Robinson began his illustrious career here in Kansas City. The Dodgers will be wearing the 1947 Brooklyn Dodger uniforms, the club that Jackie made his Major League debut with. So essentially it's Jackie versus Jackie. Jackie can't lose. But I'm leaning toward those 1945 Kansas City Monarchs to win this game on Saturday against those pesky Dodgers. But it's an exciting time for us. We just launched our Thanks a Million Buck campaign. And I hope each and every one of you who are in attendance tonight will log on to thanksamillionbuck.com, where we're challenging 1 million people to donate at least $1 in memory of the late, great Buck O'Neil, and to help us complete the Buck O'Neil Education and Research Center there at the site of the Paseo YMCA.
Before we let you go, tell me one Buck story. You knew Buck O'Neil better than anyone. He lit up every room he walked into. Give me your best memory, one of your favorite memories about Buck O'Neil.
And it's really interesting that my most memorable memory of Buck came in defeat. The way that he handled the disappointment of not getting into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Buck missed by 1 vote in 2006. And guess who had to tell him that he didn't get enough votes to get in? You guessed it, it was me. And it was the most gut-wrenching thing I've ever had to do, was to walk into that little conference room and tell my friend that he didn't get enough votes, when I know in his heart he thought he was in, and he handled it so beautifully. And for him to walk downstairs to the Field of Legends and essentially implore all of us not to be angry, not to be bitter, and essentially wrap his arms around all of us. So instead of us consoling him, he was consoling us in what I still say to be one of the most amazing displays of strength of character that I'd ever witnessed. And of course, as you remember, he would push aside his own disappointment, go to Cooperstown, speak on behalf of the 17 who had gotten in, all of them dead, in what I still say to be the most selfless act in American sports history.
But now, finally, Buck O'Neil is in the Hall of Fame, and they can come see the plaque tomorrow?
Come see the plaque tomorrow from 10 to 3. Take your pictures with the plaque, post it on social media, tell everybody where you are, and it's a special time for us. It is very exciting. Thanks to all of you in Kansas City for continuing to show love to my friend, the legendary Buck O'Neil.
And show love to Mr. Bob Kendrick, ladies and gentlemen, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, one of the crown jewels of our community. Bob, thank you so much for the time tonight.